Hey guys, it's Zoshi and this is going to be our weekly well-being reading. Let's jump into it. So these readings are for our general, mental health or, just well-being in general. That we can do something consciously to maybe change something if we can, or just think about something that might make us feel a bit better. So for this week we have resistance, and the question is, in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Hagrid experiences prejudice as a result of his half-giant heritage. Sadly, this is not an isolated incident. The wizarding world as a whole struggles with prejudice, both against muggles and muggle-born wizards. Yeah, like our word. Have you ever experienced prejudice in your life or witnessed it? Today, take an action, big or small, to combat prejudice in the world. So, okay, big question, because it's not an easy one to tackle. And I like that we have resistance, because I think we should resist the ideas that, someone is less or even more than we are because of certain things that are out of our control, like where we were born, why we were born, and how we look and stuff like that. But I think we all want to, most of us here at least, want to do something about it, but we don't know how to do that. That's usually my problem as someone who doesn't really experience something like this, because I live in the country where I'm the majority, and yeah, there was some sexism. I'm not gonna say there wasn't, but nothing as rough or as hard or difficult or horrible that some people experience. So I'm not gonna sit here and be all about that, but I do want to help change. I just oftentimes don't know how to. So let's see what we can do about it. Let's see the 2. 5 of Cups, interesting. And we have the Don't, the 6 of Cups. Very, very interesting. And we will have a card for, why this question came up at the end. But let's see. So we have the Do, right? That's what I said with the 5 of Cups. And in this case, and what this card suggests, because I would totally, it would be so much easier if the card would be switched, but that made me think immediately that I should resist looking for an easy solution, because the real solution is not there. The real solution is figuring out what we can do with what the cards we were dealt with. And maybe what this particular illustration makes me think about is, snakes are can have double meaning. The traditional one is that sneaky persons and blah blah blah, but they also symbolize transformation, because they can shed their skins, they can change, they can transform, they can also offer wisdom. So what comes to me from this illustration is we shouldn't be sad about those spilled cups. We have to let go the majority of what I said, I think I said it, societal structures and whatnot, because those are not working anymore. We need to concentrate on the ones we want to keep, and we also need to not get discouraged, and try to listen to people who have the wisdom that they can offer to change these things. Because I do believe that when there's radical acceptance and just acceptance in a bigger scale in our society, we would feel less stressed, less worried, less anxious, and we would feel on a basic human level, all of us, better. So the advice for this week is to allow smarter people to share their experience and share their opinion how these changes can happen, even on a a basic level, on a basic everyday one-on-one level. We don't need to go out and look for someone who has um, big advice in a way. I mean, those are important, obviously, but because we're working on a very personal level here with these readings, I think just listen to people who have these experiences, uh, and let them tell you how they think change is possible, and try to believe that change is actually possible, because sometimes finding that hope is not easy. And what not to do is, it's a very interesting Six of Cups, because it's working together and releasing something. So creating something together, and the card's basic meaning is connecting to back to the roots. And maybe it's more an advice on what I said with these spilled cups. Don't try to stick to something that was the old and tried, because it might not be true anymore. Hopefully it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to me now. And why these changes are or why this question came up for us this weekend, week, we have Lily, Majesty and Virtue. The Lily is the emblem rare of many virtues, good and rare. But we're gonna check the guidebook. But I like what it says about virtue, because you can't live in a world if this is not part of it. Okay, so let's read. So I'm gonna show you so you can read the whole thing, but it's not about what you say. I'm gonna read the inspirational message. It's not about what you say or what you feel that matters. It's not enough to talk about what's virtuous. In the end, it's what you actually do that counts. Let your actions come from virtue. Isn't that lovely? So yeah, I think we reached that point where we need to talk about these issues. Just talk about them. We need change, but we have to be mindful where the advice for what we are doing comes from, because it needs to come from a place where there's actual knowledge about these things. But yeah, we need to change and do something. So what this card was all about as well, let's try to do something. And if you have an advice, or what if we can do this week for something like this, doesn't matter if it's small or big, please do let me know, because I'm quite curious. This was quite an unusual one. When I chose this deck to work with, I was thinking about these questions are gonna be connecting to more of our inner self, but looks like the questions that come up are are on a bigger scale, which I find very interesting, and I don't mind that at all. But yeah, please do like, subscribe, comment down below if it resonated in any way or made me think about something. Like I said, let's have a conversation about these things, obviously respectfully. And I want people to be able to ask questions, because I don't think that not even if I acknowledge that I'm not affected by it, no, not even if. So I acknowledge that, obviously, but I would like to be in a space where asking questions about these things is allowed, because I don't think that that's the only way that we can learn from each other. So yeah, I hope this makes any sense, and you know what I mean. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and see you next week. Bye.